Today's episode of the Gambola podcast brought to you by our friends from Basketball Tips, pare. They're fan of the PBA, NBA, or UST. Fan pa ba kayo ng UST?
Go,
Then,
stay.
Beyond KP's then Beyond KP is the only Facebook group you need to join to share your insights in the world of basketball. As always, the Grind Boys are reunited. Diyos ko, ang tagal ko kayo hindi nakita. Kamusta mga pare?
Naman, buhay pa.
Okay lang.
Hindi pa naman kayo nag-walk out. Hindi pa naman kayo nag-walk out sa Sorsogon nyo? Basketball camp?
Hindi pa. Masarap pa yung kinakain ko ngayon.
Masarap pa yung kinakain mo. Okay. So, good to know. Actually, we know, last week we were discussing kung dapat ba mag-record tayo ng podcast. But given the whole Jacob Blake situation, parang we felt it wasn't really the right time to do so. Good thing that the NBA is back. The playoffs are back. So, Porter, for you, ano yung mga biggest standouts mo regarding dito sa NBA playoffs so far?
Well, to start with, it was quite a scare last week when we thought the NBA was over, and I'm just thankful, like everyone else here in this episode, that the NBA is back. What stood out for me is the total domination of the top teams. The Lakers, of course, demolishing the Blazers in 5 games. The Clippers, I'm still kind of intrigued on how they will sustain this kind of play, since chemistry has been the biggest issue for that team. They were able to beat the Mavericks without Kristaps Porzingis. It was almost all close games. So parang, di ba, nag-aalangan ako. Are they just built for the Lakers? Or are they not built to face other teams? That's a big problem for them. What if the Lakers, you can never tell. What if the Lakers lose LeBron and they don't advance to the next round, or Anthony Davis, tapos makaharap nila ang Clippers. So it's a big issue. The other teams naman, they were, speaking of other teams, the Game 7 today was crazy. Give us your thoughts, guys. Grind Boys, partner.
Go, Josh, Linus. Yeah. What can you say about yung mga games? Yung Game 7 kanina lang, yung muna yung pag-usapan natin. Kanina. Was do or die between the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets. And we all know as sports fans, Game 7 are the best 2 words in sports, basically. So, ano yung mga naging reaction nyo nung pinanood nyo siya kanina? Go ahead, Linus. Ikaw wala.
Ako actually, I was really surprised that it got to a Game 7, first of all, because the Utah Jazz had a 3-1 lead. And Donovan Mitchell was playing, parang he was possessed, no? So, first of all, I got surprised na umabot pa sa ganon. But Jamal Murray took his team on his shoulder and carried everybody to get here. It was a crazy game. I thought from the very start, I really thought that it was going to be Denver because Michael Porter Jr. was playing really well. They were up by, I think, double digits. I think 15 points entering the half. So akala ko talaga GG na sila eh. Pero, and down the wire, yung last play na yon, first of all, nung nawala ni Donovan Mitchell yung bola, parang ako, wala, it's over. But I was really surprised that during that break, si Jamal Murray, pinasa niya, then somebody attempted the shot. Parang they could have just held the ball. Torrey Craig. They could just held the ball. And then game over. And then they even gave Utah Jazz a chance to win it. So parang ako, man, but ultimately, I guess it's really from the very start, I knew I really rooted for Denver to win this because I'd like to think that they're the more talented team. But, Utah Jazz will come down in the books na one of those teams na lost a 3-1 lead together with the Golden State Warriors and all the other teams in the NBA. Ganun yung nangyari. So, played a hell of a series, but too sad, too bad for them.
Josh, for you, paano na-overcome ng Denver Nuggets yung 3-1 deficit nila? What made it so easy for them?
Talagang yun sabi ni Linus, talagang parang talagang linagay niya sa shoulders na yung team niya eh. So hindi lang naman siya, pero diba, nandun pa rin naman sila Jokic. Pero iba yung laro niya for the last 4 games. Well, besides kanina, yung games 4, 5, 6, Grabe, di ba ano siya? 50, 43, 50? Parang
50,
ganun.
oo eh.
Yeah.
Tapos sobrang efficient pa ng shooting niya. Kasi average niya for the 3 games, parang 62%.
Yeah.
Without any turnovers pa. So parang talaga nagpapakilala eh. Nalala ko yung last podcast natin, pinag-uusapan
Yes.
natin na yung
Yes,
Denver
naalala ko.
kulang ng isang star. Mukhang
Yeah.
pinanood yata.
Yeah.
They were
Pinanood
missing that
yata
one
tayo ni-
star. Yeah. Naalala ko.
Oo, narinig yata tayo ni Jamal Murray. Kaya nagparinig, nagpakilala.
Di kasi alam mo, pinapanood ko yung series na to. So it was Utah versus Denver Nuggets. Pinili natin yung Denver Nuggets eh. Kasi nung chinek natin yung roster nila, yung depth ng Denver Nuggets, top to bottom, heavy talaga sila eh. Heavy loaded eh.
And they're big.
And,
Laki nila.
oh, they're big and everything else. But the thing with the Utah Jazz is they know their identity. Alam nila defensive mindset sila. Alam nila they have a superstar in Donovan Mitchell. Alam nila they have a defensive anchor in Rudy Gobert. And as you could see early on during the series, nanalo lang naman yung Denver Nuggets kung nag-explode si Jamal Murray. Diba? It took Jamal Murray 50 points, 43 points para may fighting chance sila. And I was surprised na parang, okay, sobrang reliant ng Denver Nuggets kay Jamal Murray na parang hindi na kakayanin ito mag-game 6 or mag-game 7. And then lo and behold, iba talaga yung laro ng Jamal Murray. Do you guys think all superstar na siya? All-star level or superstar level na siya?
All-star, oo. Superstar baka hindi pa.
Superstar, no. Yung tier kasi ng superstar for me or yung credential dapat, yung credentials ng player for him to be a superstar kasi for me, first or second team ka sana eh. Pero, he's not there yet eh. He gets there maybe one of these days. But he showed a really good game this series. And, it was for me, it was the most uninteresting series for me. Pero in the end, siya pala yung isa sa mga pina-exciting na makikita mo. You don't see two players score 50 on each other multiple games. So this was, special for us. And I'm just glad that we were able to witness it, man.
Actually, I was surprised in today's game. The final score was like 80-78.
Yep.
I mean, para tayo nang balik sa 90s, man.
Yeah, Bulls Utah. Parang Bulls Utah.
Doon ako parang na-surprise eh. Kasi, we're so used to seeing scores like 140 to 128, yung mga ganun.
Yeah.
Today was very different.
Pero tingin ko, Linus, fatigue is setting in eh. I mean, you could see yung schedule nila. It's every other day. Right? Naging choppy yata ako eh.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Every other day. Pero if you think about
it. So going back, I thought kasi...
Yeah, go ahead, David.
Well, sabagay.
I think we're kind of losing him. Sky cable, baby.
Okay. Sorry. Choppy pa ba ako? Hindi naman na.
Yeah, kinda.
Choppy pa rin.
Go ahead.
So kung may mga nakikinig dyan ng mga sponsor ng mga internet,
sobrang hirap.
Sponsoran niya naman si David. Baka naman.
Masisira na ako sa internet connection namin. But anyway, okay, moving to the Denver Nuggets Clippers series. What are your predictions? Given the fatigue of the Denver Nuggets.
Fatigue will probably play its role on this series. Jamal Murray had a interview earlier today. He was shocked that that the series will start this Friday or Thursday in their time. He was really shocked. So for him it was a bummer. I think he was looking forward to resting for quite a bit. Nagulat siya na mag-start na yung series. So I think it's a big thing na fatigue will probably set in on their team. I'm not sure about the other one.
Yeah. Actually, ako feeling ko ang game 1 baka mapunta pa sa Denver kasi meron pa silang momentum. Pero baka pagdating ng mga game 3 or 4 doon na papasok yung parang yun, fatigue nga.
Yeah, I agree.
Pero tingin nyo guys na figure out ng Clippers yung sarili nila after finishing off the Dallas Mavericks in 6 games? Or do you think may kulang pa? May kulang pa sa Clippers. Di ba? Pinag-uusapan kasi natin na championship contender sila eh.
I just want to say, in my opinion, Chamba. Okay, it was a Chamba series. No, but for real, Luka Doncic is real. Superstar. Okay, but actually, for the Clippers, I think the bright spot only that I can really look at is really Kawhi Leonard. Actually, sa kanilang lahat, he probably is the most consistent. And you can really see the way he plays that he's taking over games. Composed, exactly. When you see, parang you can really see the rest of the Clippers, nagkakalat sila minsan, Paul George is taking weird shots, airball shots, then, there's no rhythm. And then you're gonna see Kawhi Leonard like, okay, give me the ball. Sige, steady lang kayo. Ako na bahala. Parang ganun siya eh. Right. And I really feel na it's part of it, na which he will probably dominate, I guess, for this Denver Nuggets series, unless, of course, Denver also is a pretty good defensive team. They find a way to really match him up with a good defensive player. So I think the key to success for Denver is just really to stop Kawhi Leonard, and for LA is get Kawhi Leonard going. Oh, that's how I see everything. Mm-hmm. But to answer your question, I don't think they're there yet. They're still figuring it out.
Yeah.
So, sino yung pinaka-favorite pa rin to win the title right now? Is it the Lakers? Is it Boston?
Natanong pa ba
Is it... Hindi, seryoso.
Pero in fairness, you were like when we did the bracket, then you were like, si Boston's gonna go all the way. Actually, medyo ngayon, I'm kind of convinced.
What's up, Lilos?
Yeah. I was convinced. Parang, okay, especially when they won the first game. Because I was like looking at Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to be very sharp. Si Kemba nga, parang siya na yung third star dun eh. Mm-hmm. Pero nung tinitingnan mo sila, parang, man, these guys look so sharp. And I feel like mukhang kaya nila Toronto. I think they're the dark horse on the semis. And we'll see. Pero it looks promising.
Ito yung nakakatawa.
A believer.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Ito yung nakakatawa, Lino. So when we did the bracket, I had Boston going to the finals.
Right.
Pero yung sa actual bracket ko, nung nawala si Gordon Hayward, sabi ko, hindi yung Boston matatalo sa Toronto. So parang, parang pinapahiya ko yung sarili ko. Doon ako naiinis. Pero going back, aside sa Lakers or in any other team, who do you guys think is one of the favorites, kumbaga? Kasi as you have said, Clippers, hindi pa nila nakakapay yung sarili nila. Then yung kay Milwaukee naman, they lost game 1 versus Miami. Let's talk about that series. Do you think the Miami Heat has finally figured out the Milwaukee Bucks? Kasi during the regular season, 3-0 din sila against Milwaukee. And right now, yung game 1, hindi fluke eh. Talagang pinantayan nila yung intensity, pinantayan nila yung shooting and everything else. Binantayan nila ng todo si Giannis. Diba? What do you guys think about that series naman?
Ako, for me, I think the next game will be very vital in terms of, vision of that series. Baga makikita mo na next game kung how it plays eh. If Milwaukee plays the same, it's probably over for them already. Pero if, Milwaukee blows them out, it's gonna be a tough series to tell pa rin, or to call. Naman, like the series before that, Milwaukee lost game 1 and went on to win 4 straight games, I think. So so we never know. And they have Giannis, that's it. I don't think Butler can do anything about that if Giannis explodes for like 36 and 19 the next game, or 40 and 20 the next game. It's just one game, but next game is very vital. The next game will determine the series for me.
Josh, for you, ano yung mga thoughts mo naman about the Miami Heat? Were you surprised when they stole game 1?
I had a gut feel na sabi ko baka maulit na naman to, parang sa Orlando matatalo na naman sa game 1. Pero like what we like we said, sobrang crucial yung game 2 for the Bucks. Kasi pag natalo pa sila dyan, yung momentum wala na eh. Yep. Sobrang mapupunta na sa Miami unless magawa nila yung nangyari last year. Ay, di ba parang sa Toronto, sila yung nag-2-0 tapos nag-4 straight. So hindi natin masabi. Pero sobrang crucial nung game 2. Pero looking forward to the series.
Linus, for you, sa Miami, aside kay Jimmy Butler, who do you think should step up more to close out the Milwaukee Bucks, the heavily favorite Milwaukee Bucks?
I think yung dalawang shooter nila, si Tyler Hero and si
Duncan Robinson.
I think sila yung mga X factors because you can expect night in and night out. Goran Dragic will play well. Bam will be that anchor in the middle. But I think the X factors are their shooters. And but I think this is just a first game issue of Milwaukee, like, you know, getting their feel together. And I'm foreseeing it. Here's my Charles Barkley prediction-ish.
Oh God.
Guarantee. That it's gonna be Milwaukee in 6. So
Me too.
yeah. So I think this is just like a good momentum. Definitely when they figure things out. And what people don't see, Milwaukee is a very veteran team. They got guys who are experienced. They're a very scrappy team. So I don't think they will just let it go just like that. And they have the league MVP. So probably it's just a first game intensity. But eventually, when they get their groove, it's gonna go all the way.
Now let's talk about naman yung isang Eastern Conference semifinals matchup between the Boston Celtics and the Toronto Raptors. Mm-hmm. To put it simply na lang, do you guys think Toronto still has a chance to overcome an 0-2 deficit katulad ng last year against Milwaukee? Or do you think this is Boston series to lose na?
I think it's Boston series to lose na. They lack that Kawhi, that Kawhi effect. People are saying na, Kawhi, when Kawhi Leonard left the Raptors, they had a better record this year. I mean, come on, that's the regular series. That's the regular season. You can't really compare the regular season Kawhi and the playoff Kawhi in the first place, diba? So for me, they lack that. Pascal Siakam, I think he's getting there pa lang in terms of being a star for a team. I didn't see his potential today, pero it's just a series. There are a lot of years to come for him. Pero as of now, I don't see that. See, Kyle Lowry, we talked about this guy, in our earlier episodes. Parang isa pa tong guy na nakukulangan din ako in terms of, impact and production. He's kind of, I think,
Lulubog lilitaw siya eh.
Yeah, yes. Tama. Tapos he's losing his elevation of the past 2 seasons yata. Parang nangalahati na yung talon niya eh. For me, parang I don't think. Tapos here's the thing, they don't have Gordon Hayward, and for me that's a good thing for the Celtics. I think they defend better without Hayward, diba?
Yeah. Actually, good point out there. Kasi nga nung kala ko may Gordon Hayward, I thought at least merong wing veteran, may tutulong kala Jason Tatum, someone that will play the small ball 4. Pero watching the Boston Celtics kanina with Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. And sino yung center nila? Daniel Theis? If I'm not mistaken, si Daniel Theis siya. Pag nakita mo yung Boston Celtics, sobrang scrappy nila maglaro. Yes. And I thought kanina lamang na lamang yung Toronto Raptors, but they kept fighting back eh. Marcus Smart was hitting threes na parang kala mo siya si Jordan noong 1992 eh. Diba?
Yeah.
Doon ako nagulat eh.
5.
Yeah. Ano yung Josh, ano yung mga adjustments na kailangan gawin ng Toronto to make this a very interesting series naman?
Well, kailangan lang siguro nila mahanapan ng way na ma-shutdown yung like si Tatum and si Brown. Tapos siguro, hindi ko kasi masyado napanood yung game kanina yung game to, di ba? Hindi ko masyado napanood yung game to. Pero
early, actually.
Yeah, too early.
Pero siguro like comparing nung game 1, kailangan talaga malimit yung foul troubles. Kasi yun yung napanood ko yung game 1 eh. Si Pascal, 3 fouls in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So yun yung mga kailangan eh. Pero other than that, yun, parang like what we said, wala pa eh. Parang papunta pa lang sa pagka-star si Pascal. So ako feeling ko nga, baka nga mas-sweep pa to eh.
Maybe.
Yeah. Feeling ko lang.
Maybe.
Pero,
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay,
kasi iba yung laro ng Jason Tatum talaga eh. Parang before the bracket, di ba Linus yung sinasabi ko sa'yo, si Jason Tatum, siya yung magiging superstar, siya yung magtatapat sa Milwaukee Bucks. Pero nagulat ako na as early as the semis, nagpipeak na siya eh. Diba? He's averaging 30 points, 34 points. Plus, hindi siya ball hog. Alam mo yun, okay lang sa kanya kung wala sa kanya yung bola, kung si Jaylen Brown yung tumitira, si Marcus Smart, okay lang sa kanya. Very effective star. Diba? What do you think about Jason Tatum, Linus?
Actually, what I like about him is, as you said, hindi niya pinipilit. When you watch him play, he's very smooth. Like, all his moves are very, parang you're watching somebody dance and nakikita mo siya na it's really smooth. He gets to the spot. He can create. So, I guess he's the reason that this team is up 2-0 and he's really carrying the load for the Celtics. I think he scored, 30 plus points today. So he's the main factor. 34, yeah. So, and I think that Jason Tatum eventually become like a superstar. If not, he's already considered as a superstar. But from the day that he was drafted all the way up to his first game, I remember his first game. He was up against LeBron and he performed pretty well up to now. So I really think na this guy is gonna be like the next face of the league, together with Luka and Trae Young and those guys. So ito na yung next batch of superstars na makikita natin. Ja Morant there. So I see like Jason Tatum could probably win an MVP in like the next 6 years if he stays for the Celtics, because it's a great organization, good coach, and yung winning pedigree.
Yep.
But let's see what adjustments the Raptors will make. I really think that for the next game, yung coverage nila kay Jason Tatum, more double teams, really get the ball out of his hands. So maybe time for the other players like Kemba to step up. Yeah.
Okay, let's move to the Western Conference. No, this is one series na hindi pa natin napag-uusapan. And surprisingly for me, this is a series that turned out na umabot din ng Game 7. I thought between the Houston Rockets and the OKC Thunder, when they were up 2-0, I thought the Rockets were able to figure out the OKC Thunder. Bakit nag-iba to? Bakit nag-force ng Game 7 itong series na to? Or were you surprised na umabot ng Game 7?
Well, it's your typical Harden and Westbrook playoff mentality, bro. These guys, they've been struggling in the playoffs. They've been struggling in the playoffs for the past years. And these guys decided to go play with each other. So, palang parang ano mo na eh.
Oh, Westbrook was terrible last game.
Yep. And so was Harden. Harden was, always missing in action in terms of when it comes to big when it comes to big games. Tapos they decided to team up together. And you're like, di ba? Parang at first parang you're kind of confused. Who's gonna shoot the ball? And apparently only the two of them shoots the ball for the whole team. So kawawa yung others, they weren't hindi nila kaya i-facilitate yung buong team kasi both of them are playmakers at the same time. Both of them are volume shooters eh. So doon pa lang the combination and the chemistry tanggal na eh. That's just me. Pero I don't really like the idea of them teaming up together from the start. It's just I can't even put it to words, man.
Wait lang, paano yung Harden fan? Josh, ano masasabi mo tungkol kay James Harden and his legacy? Once again, on the line.
Wala, nauubo sa dulo eh. Ganun talaga. Tapos may kasama ka pang kakamping ball hog eh. Na tumo-turn over sa dulo ng game. Eh, wala talaga.
Ako feeling ko si James Harden, sa sobrang dami niyang shifty moves from first quarter to third quarter, pagdating ng fourth quarter, wala na. Nauubusan na siya.
Yes. Parang nagiging one-dimensional siya sa fourth quarter. Parang it's just one move. Blow past the defender and of course may help defense sa harap ay sa likod. Lagi siyang tinatapon na lang yung bola. Or yun lang yun ginagawa niya.
Step back. I think the NBA already figured out how to defend James Harden. I think they know his moves na, he's gonna dazzle you with the ball, biglang step back, pull up. So I think they're getting it. But I want to talk about Westbrook last game. I mean, when I was watching him, parang ako nanonood ng PBA. Mm-hmm. Alam mo yung mga player biglang magbebenta sa dulo.
Yes.
parang ganun si Westbrook eh. Parang titignan ko talaga to. Tapos yung reaction pa niya, parang, di ba, after he makes a stupid play, and his face, when you zoom in yung camera sa kanya, yung itsura niya parang, tanga ko. Parang ganun yung itsura niya. Sabi ko, ano ba to? Bebenta ba to?
Isisisi niya.
Yeah, yung when he walked,
sa kakampi.
Yeah, yung naglakad siya, I think it's against the Warriors. He took like 5 steps.
Yeah,
bago siya nag-dribble.
Tapos yung reaction niya parang, what happened? Yung parang gano'n.
I don't know, man. Di ba sa...
So, parang, kaya when I was watching him, sabi ko, putya, nagbebenta ba ng laro to? Kasi he looked like he's like selling the game. But Chris Paul, from day one, I was a fan of Chris Paul. Point guard. Point guard. Fourth quarter, clutch man, grabe. And I really love that play when he took a step back, he made the 3-pointer then against Covington. And then, he tapped him in the butt like, parang ganon. Grabe talaga.
Okay, sige. We lost David for a while, but for sure, babalik siya. Ito, guys, what can you say about Chris Paul getting his redemption against his former team? Baga, parang the Rockets traded him or traded him last year, di ba? Then they go face-to-face in the playoffs, play so well, going Game 7. What do you guys think about Chris Paul's, comeback season? Oh, no, not comeback season, but redemption.
He was
season.
ruled out. Everybody thought that he was like done, right? Yeah.
Kasi at the start of the season, ang nasa rankings nga ng OKC, di sila papasok ng playoffs eh. Parang tank team sila eh. Pero the point guard proved them wrong.
Ang nakakagulat kay Chris Paul kasi, parang Chris Paul is one of those players na he can beat you with his mind or with his IQ. That's the thing I love about Chris Paul. Hindi siya athletic, hindi siya nagre-rely sa speed or sa length or any other extraordinary basketball gifts. Talagang utak lang talaga eh. And given his old age, parang nauutakan pa rin niya yung mga ibang tao eh. He knows how to outsmart guys like James Harden, guys like Russell Westbrook, or he knows how to maximize someone like Dennis Schroeder. Di ba si Dennis Schroeder, dating nasa Atlanta Hawks, ngayon tinapon na yan, nasa OKC, biglang nagiging important player pala siya. And he also was able to help si SGA, si Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, na tinrade ng Clippers for Paul George. And SGA is also proving to be a very important player for them.
Danilo Gallinari.
Oh, Danilo Gallinari.
Parang mga rejects, man.
Yeah. Oh. But guys, do you think, sino yung gusto nyo for that series, for tomorrow? Lamado ang Houston pa eh. I'm looking at the bookies now. Lamado pa ang...
Kahit Harden pa na ako, parang gusto ko OKC makapasok eh.
Ayan o, Houston -5 for tomorrow.
Wow.
-5. -5.5 actually.
Sige, I'll go first. I still want the Houston Rockets to win kasi they're supposed to be the better team. Of course, moving forward, I would love to see good games again, in the next round. So I don't see OKC giving the Lakers a run for their money. Matchup wise, who's gonna defend LeBron? Who's gonna defend LeBron? Who's gonna defend AD? So for me, matchup wise, I would really like to see the Rockets win it, just for more exciting playoffs.
You guys, if you're the Lakers, who do you want to win in the series?
Of course, OKC.
OKC. Kasi like what we said,
parang... Yeah, go ahead.
Hindi, yun nga, parang feeling ko rin, gusto ko rin OKC. Kasi una, magandang parang, di ba, una nakalaban ni LeBron si Melo, tapos ngayon naman si Chris Paul kung OKC panalo. Pero magiging advantage nga sa Lakers like we said kasi yung matchups parang imbalanced eh. Parang, di ba, sinong pinaka-closest na pwedeng bumantay kay LeBron? Si SGA, Robertson.
Ayun si Dork?
Tapos, pwede. Pero may AD ka pa. O sino naman kay AD? Adams? Parang masyadong mabagal. So, syempre, for me, as a Laker fan, gusto ko OKC.
Sobrang honest naman ni Josh.
Ang assessment.
Pero syempre, Harden fan pa rin ako. Kaso, yun. Kung
pero
magandang matchup talaga, Rockets ang gusto ko makapasok. Kung talagang good series.
pag nanalo yung OKC tomorrow, grabe, sobrang bittersweet na to for both Westbrook and Harden. Kasi they both teamed up, tapos tinalo sila ng isang former teammate nila, which is si Chris Paul, si Harden. Tapos si Westbrook, na-kick out siya sa playoffs by his former team. Imagine the irony, imagine the storylines. And to think, yung dalawang to, they will be under contract for the next 4 years, actually. Houston will be paying almost 30, 35. Westbrook is going to be paid 44 million pag at the age of 34 ata, if I'm not mistaken, or 33. So imagine being stuck on in that type of roster. Diba? Sinong perfect coach kaya yung pwede sa Houston Rockets aside kay Mike D'Antoni? Ano ba kayo naiisip? Kasi I think kung matalo yung Houston Rockets ngayon, sigurado wala na rin si Mike D'Antoni after this one.
Linus.
Coach-wise, I'm not sure. Actually, it's very... Harden kasi fits really in the system of Mike D'Antoni. Yung one, the previous years, run and gun. Tapos yung focal point siya of the offense, it really runs for him. So, I even credit Harden's success because he had a coach like Mike D'Antoni. If it were somebody else, probably he won't be putting up that much numbers. So, regarding to that coach, I don't know who will fit them well. If ever they lose, I'm not surprised if Westbrook gets traded for somebody.
I don't think anyone's going to trade for Westbrook, pare.
Unless salary niya.
Unless if it's Westbrook for John Wall, for example, dalawang parehong pangit na kontrata.
Yeah, something like that, no? Or probably in a few more years, amnesty na siya or what. But probably, I think there's still a team that will take Westbrook in. The Nets, the Knicks. The Knicks. I mean, I think it fit there. His
Hornets.
Mga Hornets, yung mga Detroit Pistons. Somebody will trade him. Some team na yung market nila is asking for a superstar.
The
and
Knicks.
Then they have and marami silang picks to give away.
The Knicks.
The Knicks, exactly. So malay mo, it works for them because I think kasi if you go to the East na superstar ka, mas mataas yung chances mo to make the playoffs because sobrang loaded ng West So probably he'll entertain that idea. But I'm not surprised that if they trade Westbrook or let him go via amnesty anytime soon. If they lose. If they lose this first round. But if they go win tomorrow, I can see the headlines like Westbrook is gonna take over the game. I was built for this, gaganon siya. This is what we do. Magagaganon sila. Then and it's gonna be more yung gaganon ni Westbrook like rockabye baby. Yeah, this is what we do. And it's gonna be more exciting for the NBA, as we said, for the Lakers. My favorite player in Houston is actually Eric Gordon. And it's gonna be good for the league. Pero OKC para naman yung parang the underdog wins, di ba?
Always a good story.
Yeah, always a good story. Yeah. And Chris Paul, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about, of course, the team to beat, the Lakers, before we end this podcast. Mm-hmm. Do you guys think they figured out themselves na? Alam na nila yung identity nila? And they will just cruise to the finals?
Yeah, for sure. For sure that they were able to identify their themselves. They found their identity. They know how to play, even though they're losing Avery Bradley, Rajon Rondo. Those two guys are playoff tested already. Those two guys are defensive-minded players. Not just for me, they're elite defensive players. When it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, and for them to win 4 straight games, although kahit paano si Lillard got injured. Pero you saw how they dominated the Blazers even though Lillard played the first 2 games, I think. Wala You saw how dominating LeBron and AD can be 43 points for AD, 36 points for LeBron, and like a double-digit assists consistently throughout the series. How can you beat that, man? That's it. That's all I have to say.
You guys, anything new about the Lakers naman?
Ako feeling ko yung lineup nila medyo set na. It's just kung paano yung walang problema ang Lakers sa starters eh. It's how the bench will produce pag nandun sila sa court. Pero as a whole naman, parang I think they have their role set na.
Sinong team yung that presents the most bad matchups against the Lakers?
Ako, the best bet ko doon is Denver Nuggets, actually.
Yeah, same.
If they surpass the Clippers, let's say, they're the best bet against the Lakers because size-wise, matchup-wise, I think they can keep up. Especially MPJ is playing really well. But siguro yung lamang ni Denver kay Clippers, siguro mga one level lang, in my opinion, no. But the Clippers are still a great matchup for the Lakers. But ultimately, it's gonna be a LA showdown, probably for the finals. And yun, if it's an LA showdown, that's when you can say na parang it could go anyway. Could be a Game 7, then Kawhi Leonard again makes a buzzer beater, or LeBron James makes a buzzer beater. But if it's an LA-Denver show, it will look like na parang, okay, the odds are more with LA. So, exciting. West is exciting.
I'm actually very excited to see yung Clippers in the second round. Again, if they'll be facing the Denver Nuggets, though. And kanina we were discussing if the Clippers are still trying to figure themselves out. So this is a huge opportunity for them to try themselves against a very fatigued team. Kita mo naman si Jamal Murray for Game 6 and Game 7, talagang pagod na eh.
Yeah.
Diba? And yung grind nun, medyo hindi biro yun eh. And this gives a chance to someone like, let's say, Paul George, who has been struggling during the first round. Tinatawag yung sarili niyang playoff P, pero nawawala din.
Mm-hmm.
Pero pag nagamit na yung second round series na yun, nawawala ako.
Yeah, you're good now.
Sad.
Yeah, you're good now.
Yan. Okay, makaso lang internet natin. Pero yan, going back though, the second round matchup between the Clippers and the Nuggets, that would present a huge opportunity for the Clippers to figure out themselves. So to end this podcast lang, let's do a round table. Who do you think is the best player so far in the NBA playoffs? Ako sabi ko Kawhi Leonard. I'm going with Kawhi Leonard.
Me too.
Pag inisip niya na I have to be the best player here, kita mo naman ng Game 6 versus the Dallas Mavericks, walang ginawa halos yung Dallas sa kanya eh.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? Kontrolado niya yung buong game eh. Offensively and defensively eh. Ikaw, sino?
Ako si Kawhi din. You know, Kawhi was the most consistent player in that series. Kumbaga si Luka was the star of that series. They didn't know what he was capable of doing in the playoffs. Pero you know, he outshined everyone except Kawhi. Because Kawhi was, I think, averaging 33, 10, and 6. I think that's his average. And all throughout the series, he was consistent. You know, Luka had bad games. I think 2 games out of the 6. Si Kawhi was just straight up. No one could defend him. Paul George was atrocious. He had a solid bad series. So, you know, good thing Kawhi was there. Again, carrying the team. I don't think that's a good thing. But he carried the Clippers, man.
Ikaw, Linus. Sino best player for the playoffs?
You know, I hate to admit it, but I'm going to go with Jason Tatum. Yeah. I'm going to go with Jason Tatum. So far. Excellent. Boy can play. I like his mentality. Very suave. So I'm going to go for Jason Tatum.
Josh, ikaw. Best player so far?
Actually, kung papapiliin niya ako ng East and West, yun yung parehong sagot ko eh. Kawhi, kasi like, Kawhi being consistent, tapos Tatum being, parang akala mo veteran na sa playoffs eh. Parang akala mo yung experience niya, 5-6, parang more than 5 years na siya naglalaro sa playoffs eh.
Mm-hmm.
Parang wala siyang walang takot. Parang confident siya. So, for me, both conference, yun yung breakout players. Or, di ba breakout? Parang yun yung players of the, standout for both conference.
Okay. I have a quick question for everybody.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, OKC Houston, just give out a team na tingin nyo mananalo. I'm going for OKC.
Houston pa rin ako eh. Even though I don't like yung si Russell Westbrook, I still love to see Russell Westbrook go for it eh. Ano yun? Parang brusko. Sige, go.
May story din kasi siya eh. Kumbaga, he was an MVP,
Eh.
tapos bumagsak siya. You know, his free throw percentage, I think his free throw percentage went down to 40% last year. Parang ganun eh. Something like that. Napakababa talaga. Tapos he was able to redeem himself. Tapos, you know, he's teaming up with Harden, former teammates. I still can't, hindi ko pa rin makapaniwala na they're losing. This went to 7 games eh. They're supposed to win this eh. No stars.
5 games lang hula ko eh.
2 MVPs.
Yes. Well, I want Houston to win, but at the same time, I want OKC to win also. So, you know, kayo na bahala, guys.
Either way. Okay.
Ako, you heard it here. Houston by 8 points.
Okay, lock it in.
Guarantee.
Well, again, the best 2 words naman talaga in sports is Game 7. So, as NBA fans, let's just enjoy tomorrow.
Yep.
Siguro bago pa masira itong internet connection, tatapusin natin to. As always, thank you to Basketball Kicks, pare. Thank you to Josh, to Linus, and of course to my partner, Gambola. We'll do a checkpoint podcast this week din. Lalo na pag next-second round na lahat. So, I'll see you guys next time. And that's about it. See you.
All right.
Bye.
DKP,
Bye.
peace.
Peace.
Bye.